Okay, I'm just going to take up 2 homework questions really quickly. This was from yesterday's homework. So 13B was find the area of the square pen. So, you know, the area for a rectangle is length times width. Since it's a square, it's just the same dimension square, or just 6.5 times 6.5. On the test, if you use decimal, if you do 6.5 times 6.5 and tell me the answer is 42.25, you're not going to get full marks. I'm not testing you guys to see if you know how to use a calculator. I'm testing to see if you guys know how to multiply fractions. Okay, so you need to show me steps. You need to show me that you know how to multiply fractions. So in this case, I would change it to an improper fraction, multiply across, and then do long division to figure out that it's 42.5 and a quarter meters squared. Meter square, don't forget units. Okay. And then 10F. 10F, this was also from the homework. Change it to an improper fraction. Okay. And then when you're dividing, you keep, change, and divide, and flip. Keep, change, flip. Okay. Once you have this, multiply the top to the top, bottom to the bottom, and then when you do long division, you'll get your answer. Right. So that was 10F. Any other questions you want me to take up from yesterday's homework? Okay. So later on during class, if you have any other, feel free to let me know and we can go over it together. So we're going to do today's lesson, short lesson today, since we have a period class. Jaden, can I get you to hand this out for me, please? Since my legs are dead from the assembly. All right. So whenever you add or subtract, make sure you always need LCD, lowest common denominator. It's not that much harder, but one extra step. Okay, so for the first example, evaluate and write final answers as a mixed number. So if you see this on a test, again, don't use decimals. You need to work with fractions to get full marks. So first step, same old, change it to improper fraction. 6 times 3, 18. 18 plus 1, 19 over 6. Plus 8 times 2, 16. 16 plus 3, 19 over 9. Okay, oh, I have the same number. I have 19 and 19. Does that mean I have my lowest common denominator? No, that's a common numerator, but we don't care about numerator. We need lowest common denominator. So looking at the 6 and the 8, what's the lowest common number between them? Good job, 24. So if you don't believe Austin and you're thinking, why 24? You could list the factors out. So you could, the multiples. You could list the multiples out. So for 6, you have 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, dot, 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 dot. And then for 8, you have 8, 16, 24, 32, dot, 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 dot. And you can see from both lists, 24 is the first common number. So that's how you know it's 24. Jaden?
Can you just times 19 over 6 by 8? 19 over 8 by 6.
Oh, good question. Okay, so this is the lowest common denominator. Now, what Jaden was saying, what if, okay, let's say I don't want to bother with finding the lowest. I could do 6 times 8, which is 48. 48 is guaranteed a common denominator. It's just that what you have to do at the end is when it's over 48, you'll have to reduce as your last step. All right. So when you find your lowest common denominator, you won't have to reduce at the end. Okay. So I I can't just change the 6 to 24. So what? 6 times what would give you 24? Harry? 6 times what gives you 24? Yeah, times 4. So if I'm multiplying the bottom number by 4, I have to do the same for the top number. So I have to multiply the top by 4 as well. So 19 times 4 is 76. Same thing on this side. 8 times what gives me 24? Babak?
3.
Yeah. So the top number, I'm going to multiply the same thing by 3. So 19 times 3, 57. Right? So this way, I keep the same fraction. It's the 76 over 24 is the same as 19 over 6. Okay. And then now that I have the lowest common denominator, I can add them together. What's my denominator here? Yeah, 24, not 48. Okay, you do not add your denominators. You only add the top numbers. So 76 plus 57, you get 133 over 24. And then once you have that, it's just the same old like yesterday. Do long division to figure out what is your answer in mixed number form. Right, so when you do long division, you get 5 and 14 over 24. Perfect. And that's your answer. Yep. Can't you just keep the fraction as mixed numbers and add them together? Good question. So, Austin? Yeah. So what Austin pointed out, very good. When you're adding, you could add up your whole numbers first. So the 3 plus the 2 gets you the 5. And then you can just add the 1/6 with the 3/8. And then to get that 13 over 24. Why I didn't do it in the first place is because sometimes when you add up the other fraction, it could be another improper fraction. So then it might not be 5 and something. It could be 6 and something. And just like the next example right here as well, when we subtract, it could be less than 5, right? So if it's adding, yes, you could add up the whole numbers first, but you can run into problem when you do subtraction. Right? So I think this is a safer way when we do improper fraction. Okay, so let's take a look at the next example. Linda, she was 48 1/4 inches tall on her 6th birthday. By her 7th birthday, she was 51 5/8 inches tall. How much did she grow during the year? So what am I going to do with these two numbers? Yep, subtract them. Do I do 48 1/4 minus 51 5/8? What should I do? 51 5/8. Subtract 48 1/4. Yeah, because otherwise you'll get a negative number and it will mean that she shrunk. All right. So for a 6-year-old, they shouldn't be shrinking. Not yet. Maybe when you're 60. Okay. So even though it's a huge whole number, I would still encourage you guys to do the improper fraction. So 51 times 8 plus 5, you get 413 over 8. And then 48 times 4 plus 1, you get 193 over 4. Right? So out of these two numbers, out of these two fractions with the 8 and the 4, what's your lowest common denominator? Ellen? 8. Good job. Okay. So this one, it's already over 8. So what do I do to the top number? Yep. Nothing, because it's already over 8. So I just copy it straight down. Okay. What about this one? 4 times what gives me 8? Yep. 4 times 2. So that means 193 times 2. So I multiply both the top and the bottom by 2 to get that. And I got 386. Is that what you got? Okay. 386. Okay. So again, what's my denominator here when I combine these two terms? Yep. 8. Not 16, remember. Just 8. And then I will subtract